All right. Well, let's get started. I just have joined this additional coaching group called Inner Circle a few weeks ago. And what I really love about this group is that they're really focused on mindset and recognizing that you can't grow to the next level yourself and your business if you don't adjust your mindset to get there. So we had a training the other day, and I've got lots of notes, so you'll probably hear me flipping pages as we go through this. But I wanted to talk to you guys about how to get to your next level. And really, I want you to think about the fact that you cannot get to your next level unless you create a different version of who you are. So who you are now, what you believe now is not going to get you to your next level. So I want to give you guys an outline of how to change your mindset so that you can level up and get to that next level. So the first thing we do, and this is pretty basic, right? We all know this, you set goals, right? You set goals, you come up with a process, you do the action, do what's required to hit the goal. But how many of you guys have had a goal and you hit it, but you didn't change internally? You just kind of went through the motions to hit that goal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you didn't change your identity. You didn't change internally. And then what happened? You fell back, right? Good example of this for me. I started working out last year. I was very diligent at the beginning of the year, working out regularly, and I changed my diet. I did everything that I could to make sure that I would lose some weight. And I lost probably like 12 pounds. I was really strong. Everything was going great. But then I changed my diet back to crap, right? I'm still working out, but still a very big, important piece for me. But I changed my diet. And guess what happened? I gained back every one of those 12 pounds. Because I didn't change who I was. I didn't change my identity. I fell back into those things that I was comfortable with. So you have to change not only your habits, but you have to change your thought patterns too. Because if you don't change your thought patterns, you're just going to go back to that programming that you have, that subconscious programming that you have from when you were younger, right? So you have to rewrite that programming and really accept a new identity. It's really important to recognize the patterns that you have and the patterns that you're doing that keep bringing yourself back to where you. Now, I want you guys to think about this too. If you walk up to, let's say there is a an apple orchard, and you walk up and you see a rotten apple. Do you guys think that something's wrong with that apple, or do you recognize that something is wrong with the tree? It's the tree, right? It's the roots. It's the roots that produce the fruits. So, and it's the same thing. Even like, I hate to use this analogy, but I think it's true. Like, have you ever seen a child that is just so disrespectful and rambunctious? Do you look at that child and think something's wrong with that child? Or do you look at that child and say something is wrong with their environment? Often, unfortunately, we look at them and say it's the parents, not always, but like it's the environment, right? There's nothing wrong with them. It's the environment that they're in. They haven't been shown the right steps to discipline and respect. So I want you guys to write that down. Write down our fruits are in our roots. Our environment leads to our belief system. And unfortunately, the belief system that we have, oh, well, unfortunately or fortunately, right? The belief system you had was really developed from the time you were 0 to 7 years old. And it either helped you or it hindered you, or it did a combination of both. But you have to consciously choose to rewrite your belief system, to rewrite that underlying like subconscious programming if you want to go to the next level. Our beliefs determine our thoughts. Our beliefs determine our thoughts. And our thoughts aren't actually what we're thinking, it's the frequency that we are attracting. So if you change your thoughts, you're going to change your frequency. How many of you guys have walked into an appointment with let's say, a buyer, and they are just super negative? They're anxious, they're not really excited, and you're kind of wondering why they even asked you to come over. What does that do to your energy? What does that do to your frequency? Or I've had situations in the past where I've been in offices where as soon as you walk in, all the agents are talking about the business they don't have, how this is such a tough market, how we're never going to be able to succeed. Maybe I should get out of the business. Maybe I should just go get a different job. All of that negative energy. Have you ever had like a great day and you walked into an environment like that and you left and you're like, holy hell, like what just happened? I am in the worst mood. I'm just feeling all this negativity or anxiety. Like I wasn't really worried about the market and the shift, but now all of a sudden all I can feel is panic. Like, am I doing the right thing? Is my business going to thrive? That energy was contagious. That vibration they put off was contagious. Now, on the other side of things, and I think we witness this with Matt all the time, right? And Audra and I are blessed to be in an organization with people that bring a lot of high energy, high vibe. How many times have you walked into a meeting and you were kind of like meh, and then someone gave you a message and they projected that energy of positivity and excitement and the potential of what can be, and you walked out and thought, hell yes, I can go take on the world. I can do anything that I want to do. So you just have to remember your thoughts are your frequency. And sometimes we can't control the thought as it pops up, right? Thoughts are random, thoughts are going to happen. We have that subconscious programming. So we can think thoughts, but it's not about blocking every bad or negative thought that we have. It's about rewriting that narrative. When those thoughts come up, shifting to something that's positive, shifting to something that raises your vibration and doesn't let you sit in that thought. All right. So our thoughts, our beliefs determine our thoughts. Our thoughts determine our emotions, and our emotions determine our actions. We know this, right? We talk about this all the time. What are the words that we're using when we're talking to clients? Why are we using the words that we're using? Because people act and make decisions based on what? Emotion. They act based on emotion. Emotions determine actions. And actions, that's what determines your life. It determines your relationships, it determines your business, it determines your health. So to get it all right, you've got to start at the beginning. You've got to change your beliefs. You've got to be aware of your thoughts. You've got to be in control of your emotions. And you've got to take the actions to get to where you want to be. So we're going to do a little test here. And if you guys want to, well, I think everybody's on mute anyway, so you can just do this. I want you guys to think about what your goal is for your business, what your goal really is. And I want you to speak it out loud right now. Just speak it out loud. And then I want you to recognize what beliefs and thoughts are in your head. So we're going to pause for just a minute. I don't care if you guys want to turn your cameras off, if you don't want to like be seen say this, I don't care. But I want you guys to speak your goal out loud and then take just a minute and write down what beliefs and thoughts come up when you say that. And when you guys are done, I would love if a few of you would unmute and let me know if you had a pit in your stomach, if you had something gnawing like in the back of your head when you said that, that made you believe that you're not going to achieve your goals.
I definitely had butterflies in my stomach, like, oh gosh, but also at the same time, it was a little anxiety, but also like an excitement because I know I'm going to hit it. So it's kind of both.
Good.
I had
What?
excitement just because I know that I'm capable of doing it, but I just have to put the hand to the plow. And it's a little challenging, but it's exciting to know that something that I've dreamed of, I can achieve.
I love that. So I would say, Megan, you're probably in a really good space. Like you don't have something that's going to hold you back. And if you keep doing what you're doing, which we're all watching you, and I love it. Audra shared the text that you sent to her the other day about like some of the cool things that are happening. You you have that belief system. You've already somehow wired yourself to believe it's possible without that internal holding you back. So keep running with that.
If
Keep
anything
running with
holds
that.
me back, it's me.
Yep. I
Mm.
love that. And Audra, I would say you're almost there, but you really need to dig deeper and journal on why are you anxious? Why do you have a little bit of pause? Because there's something in you that maybe either is afraid of shifting your identity to be that person or believes that you can't do it. So just journal around that. Anybody else?
I kind of felt sort of like the like it was like excitement, like I know I'll get there eventually, but I was kind of like, whoa, that's a like I was doing it as like a monetary amount, but like annually, and it's like, oh, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm in the car, obviously.
No, no, I
I was
think
like, oh, that's a lot of money.
yeah, and I think that's good, Brooke. That's one thing I've had to work for like for a long time, like just slowly elevating the level of what I believe I can achieve. Because if you tell me I'm going to make 1 million in GCI myself,
Mhm.
that is so unattainable for my mind to wrap around that I just can't get there.
Well,
So it
it's
has
funny
to start
because
with like chilling.
my original one that I said out loud was like actually what I made like this past year, and I literally had to check. I was like, wait a minute, that was my GCI this year. Like, why would I say the same? And I just didn't even think about it because that's like I honestly I don't know. I think I may have told you like I made a lot more than I actually realized I made.
Yeah.
So I was like, oops. I was like, that's not really a goal if I already hit that. So gotta give myself a different one.
Yes.
So I went $200,000 higher.
Perfect. Okay, so to kind of get yourself, for those of you that struggled with it or had a little bit of pause, there's a couple things that you need to do. Number one, you just need to become aware, right? You guys just did an exercise that made you aware of how you felt. Awareness is the first step to changing anything. That's why if you look at like Alcoholics Anonymous, anything like that, right? What's the first thing you have to do? You have to become aware and admit what's going on. You can't change what you're not aware of or willing to acknowledge. So you need to be aware of your emotional and cultural habits that are creating this environment that you live in or the thoughts that you're living in. And then you need to do a pattern interrupt. So that could be multiple different things, right? For some of us, that's therapy. For some of us, that's coaching. Some of us, it's just reaching out to a colleague, right? Having these conversations. But you have to do a pattern interrupt. You have to change the narrative. You have to change your emotional state around whatever it is that makes you feel like, that doesn't feel like it resonates well with me. And then you have to create new patterns. You need to be excited about it. You need to believe that you can do this. You need to know that you're willing to do the work to get there. And then here's the hard part. You need to create new standards for yourself that you hold yourself to and are non-negotiable. If you guys aren't willing to design your future, you're not going to create it. You have to consciously take the time to design it, to put standards in place, and to hold yourself accountable to those standards. But the true magic really happens when you guys start to believe that you can do it, that you are capable of doing it, and knowing that you are worth it. It's an internal shift, and it's not going to happen overnight, right? It's that slow. Have you guys heard of like the Mel Robbins high five? It's silly, right? It's silly. But you know what it does? It subconsciously reprograms your mind. There was a long time where I don't think I found that or felt like I was worthy. I don't know that I can honestly say that I loved myself. And I changed that image of my own mind and like finding that self-love by looking myself in the mirror every single day and just saying, I love you. So for some of us who are just struggling to even love ourselves and that's what's holding us back, maybe you just need to look in the mirror and remind yourself every single day that I love you and you are worth it. And eventually you will start to believe it. This is why we have vision boards, right? We have vision boards so we can start visually seeing things and reprogramming our mind to find the things that we want to see. We talk about that reticular activating system all the time. Putting those things in front of us, visually seeing the things that we want are actually going to help us get to where we want to be. And one thing that Justin and Spring recommend is, let's say you can't afford that big house that you want or that fancy car that you want. Put yourself in an environment where you feel like you have it. Go rent an Airbnb and go on a nice vacation and pretend it's your home. Go rent a car. Go to the dealership and just test drive the car you want, or go just stand next to the car you want. But like, put yourself in an environment where you feel like this is attainable. It's not just something on your vision board. It's something that you can actually grasp and have. And then when you get in those situations where you aren't doing the things that you need to do, or you are doing certain things you shouldn't be doing, and your excuse is everybody is doing it, you need to start questioning who everybody is. Who is everybody? It's everybody in your circle, maybe, but maybe it means you need to move on and get a new circle. You need to slowly change the people that you're around. If people don't believe in you to the level that you need them to believe in you, maybe they're not your people. We talked about this the other day about people being in your life. Actually, Audra, I think it was on our interview. People being in your life for a reason, a season. What was the other one now? I can't remember. Reason, season. Yep. Basically, people are there either for a reason or a season or a
Or
lesson.
lifetime.
Or a lifetime. A lifetime, that's what it is. So they're there for a reason, like a lesson. They're there for a season because you guys are in alignment in that season, and you're vibing, and it makes sense to be, you know, in relationship, or for a lifetime. The people that you know are going to be there forever, right? These are probably your spouses, your children. There's going to be some mentors in that are going to be in there. There are people in my life that I love dearly, but I do not spend near as much time with or go out of my way to make plans with anymore because they were there for a season. I'm in a different phase of my growth. They don't understand it, and they can't wrap their head around it. And it's just hard when I'm around them. I start to see myself in that old version of me. So I think changing your environment can be extremely helpful. And I'm not saying cut people off. Like, there's reasons for people, but you can limit your time that you're spending with people, or the energy that you're putting into people or taking on from people. The other thing that Justin said that really resonated with me, actually it was Spring that said this, the world rewards risk takers and people who take action quickly. You have to keep your business and your life in momentum. You cannot just be one of those people that watches a whole bunch of videos, that joins this call, that gets that energy from it, gets all those ideas, and then does absolutely nothing with it because you mind F it. You have to take action. You have to keep your business in momentum, your life in momentum. You're going to fail, but the key is to fail more often, but make quicker decisions. You're going to fail more, but you're going to learn more too. And failure is part of growth. So don't be so afraid of failing that you just don't take the action at all. And the best thing of all, like, you guys, we're not trees. We are not trees. We do not have to stay where we're at. We can get up and move. Everything that we do is a choice. But you have to choose to do it. There is no one on this call, not Audra, not Matt, not myself. None of us can choose what you do or what you're going to do. You have that power. You are the only one that can make that change. Okay. So you really have two choices at this point. You either can stay the same or you can change, right? It's simple. Two choices. And they gave it a little analogy about a shoe salesman, and he only brings out two pairs of shoes for people. And if they can't decide between one of those two pairs of shoes and they want a third one, you know what he says? Okay, which one of those shoes are you willing to give back to me before I go get the third pair? Because once you have three choices, you don't really have a choice, right? When you have two choices, you can make a decision and you can choose. So here's kind of the options that you have, or the steps that you can take to move forward and change. You've got to change your emotional home, maybe even your physical home, right? You've got to change your environment. Number two, you need to put yourself in a high performance environment. Calls like these, groups. Maybe you guys have groups in your office where people are encouraging, motivating, and they're doing the work. We're not just people that are talking the talk, they're actually walking the walk. Get yourselves in a high performance culture. Changing your environment as a whole. We talked about this, the people that you're surrounding yourself with as a whole. What are their standards? And do their standards meet your standards? If not, you may need to change your environment. You need to define your priorities and then stick with them. What are your standards? What are your priorities? What are your non-negotiables? Make them so stupid that you have no choice but to follow through with them. And if you don't, you definitely will not feel in integrity with yourself. And then this one is the hardest one, but you have to have resolve or closure. You have got to figure out what it is that's holding you back. What are those pain points in your life? What are those traumas? What are those mindset blocks? What is it that is holding you back? And you absolutely have to figure out how to resolve them and how to get closure. That might be therapy. That might be just changing your mindset in general, like changing the habits that you do to start stacking those habits and believe that you can do what you do. But you have to change the internal patterns. If you change those internal patterns, you're going to change your habits, and that ultimately is going to change your identity. And then when you guys start doing those little things that you're winning at, start celebrating. So you're going to decide on your identity. You're going to be authentically consistent with that identity. And then you're going to start celebrating all your little wins. So if your little win is that you hit the snooze button every day and you didn't hit the snooze button today, you're going to freaking celebrate that. And if your win is you haven't been to the gym in 2 years and you got up and you worked out, you're going to celebrate that. You don't have to wait until you've done it for 30, 60, 90 days to celebrate. You're going to celebrate every single day you get up and show up for yourself. You're going to reward and reprogram your mind to celebrate those habits so that it will want to do them again and again and again. All right. That's what I got. What do you guys think?
I love celebrating all the little things. That's why we always start this call with gratitudes and wins. Because if you're not, you're missing the whole big picture, right? It's not about this one thing at the very end. You're missing all the little things throughout the
Yep.
journey. I mean, you've always heard it's the process, right? Not the end, or it's the journey that matters. You have to celebrate those little things to keep you going on the days that you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. But if you stop and you celebrate whenever you have those little wins, it keeps you moving forward even when you don't want to do it.
Absolutely. That's we have this cheesy habit on our team, and we start off with gratitudes. And then when someone had a closing that week or a BBA or a listing agreement, we go and we got one of those musical triangles and we ring the triangle and clap. I always laugh. I'm it's like Pavlov's law, where they ring the bell and the dog correlates it. But I'm I want them to correlate we celebrate when we win. We celebrate when we win. We all cheer each other on and we want to reprogram our mind to think, I want to win. I want to go ring the triangle.
I also like resolving what's holding you back.
Yeah. That's probably should have been number one and not like the fifth on the list there because you can't really move forward until you resolve what's holding you back. We can all pretend, but it's going to eventually get you and catch up to you. Keep coming back at the
Yeah,
same.
I think it kind of eats at you.
Anyone else? All right. Well, I would challenge you guys to really dig deep into some of those feelings and emotions that you had. Set your goals bigger than you're already setting them. There's probably something more out there that you're able to achieve than you're willing to let your mind believe. So really kind of journal around that. And then on Wednesday, we got some really good feedback on Audra's scripting session on Friday. And so Wednesday, we're going to continue that with sellers, Audra. Is that what we're going to do? Yeah. So we're going to continue that with seller objections. So come ready to script, and then come with, like, if you guys have seller objections you're getting already, like, come with those. Let's script around those as well. All right, friends, we will see you on Wednesday then. Have a great week.